All right, so you're thinking about grabbing that KOSPET Tank T2 smartwatch.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, does it live up to the hype?
Hmm.
Well, we've got all the manufacturer promotional material right here.
Okay.
And let's just say they're making some pretty bold claims. We're going to break down those claims,
Okay.
especially that durability. See what's really going on under the hood,
Yeah.
and see if this watch is truly ready for anything.
And speaking of ready for anything, they're really leading with this military-grade toughness.
Right.
Is that just marketing speak, or?
Yeah, military grade gets thrown around a lot these days.
Exactly.
What does it even mean for a smartwatch to meet this MIL STD 810H standard? Like, are we going to be taking this watch into combat?
Probably not.
Okay.
But the testing behind that certification is intense.
Okay.
We're talking shock resistance, vibration tests, extreme temperatures, hot and cold, even humidity, altitude. So while you might not be dodging bullets, this watch is designed to handle drops, bumps, extreme weather.
Wow.
Pretty much anything you can throw at it in your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be a game changer
if
you're the type who's hard on their tech.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So we're not just talking tossing this in a puddle and calling it a day.
Yeah.
It's made to withstand some serious abuse.
Exactly. And to add to that, you've got that 5 ATM waterproof rating,
Okay.
meaning you can take it swimming down to 50 meters.
Wow.
Plus, it's got an IP69K rating. You know what that means.
Honestly, no. I know IP ratings are good for water resistance, but I can never keep them all straight.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
IP69K means this thing is basically dust-proof and can handle high pressure, high temperature water jets.
Oh, wow.
So think pressure washing, industrial environments, that sort of thing, combined with the military standard.
So this thing's built like a tank.
This watch is built like a tank.
Okay, so it can survive a war zone.
Right.
But can it make a phone call?
You already know the answer to that, but it's not just about making calls, it's about the quality.
Oh.
They're touting hi-fi audio,
Okay.
which is a little bit of a marketing buzzword,
Right.
but it does have a noise-reducing mic.
Uh-huh.
So imagine you're out on a bike ride,
Okay.
wind in your hair, you get a call. This mic is designed to filter out that background noise,
Wow.
so you can have a clear conversation.
That's a huge plus for anyone who wants to ditch their phone for a while. Though I did notice that the raise to wake function,
Yes.
you know, where the screen lights up when you lift your wrist, that only works if you disable some of the power-saving modes.
That's right. It highlights the balancing act between battery life and features.
Right.
If you want every single feature working all the time, you're likely going to be charging more often.
Yeah.
It comes down to personal preference, really.
Yeah. Got to prioritize what matters most. But calls are just the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah.
What else makes this KOSPET Tank T2 so special? What features really stand out?
Well, they're really pushing the fitness tracking
Okay.
with over 70 sport modes.
Wow, 70.
We're talking your standard running, swimming, cycling, but then it gets into some pretty niche territory,
Okay, like what?
like badminton, fencing, even bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping.
He's serious.
Right. It makes you wonder how many people are actually bungee jumping with this thing strapped to their wrist.
That's dedication. I'd be too terrified to even remember to start the watch.
But beyond the sheer number of modes, it has this smart recognition feature.
Yeah.
So say you forget to manually start a workout.
Okay.
The watch can supposedly detect what you're doing and start tracking automatically.
That's pretty slick. And of course, it has your standard heart rate,
Yes.
blood pressure, blood oxygen monitoring.
Exactly. But, as always, it's important to remember,
Yeah.
these are not medical-grade tools. They're meant to provide you with insights into your fitness, maybe catch some trends.
Uh-huh.
But you shouldn't rely on them for diagnosis or treatment.
So don't skip that doctor's appointment just because your watch gave you a clean bill of health.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, aside from fitness, it has all the usual smartwatch suspect. You get your voice assistant, music control, weather updates, even a calculator.
Nice.
They're really trying to pack in everything you need so you can, as they say, streamline your day, leave your phone behind.
Okay, that's a lot of features. Let's talk power. How long can you actually use this thing before you need to plug it in?
Right.
Because all those sensors and features got to drain the battery pretty quickly.
Surprisingly, the KOSPET Tank T2 boasts some impressive battery life.
Okay.
They're claiming 10 to 15 days of normal use and up to 50 days on standby.
Wow.
But there's a catch, of course.
There's always a catch.
If you choose to use the always-on display,
Okay.
that battery life drops down to 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
Still decent,
Yeah.
but it's a significant difference.
That's all right.
This trade-off between features and battery life,
It's a constant battle in the smartwatch world.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's powering this battery beast? Is it some magical new technology?
No magic.
Okay.
Just good old-fashioned engineering. Part of the secret is the Realtek 8763EW chip.
Okay, that's a mouthful. What's so special about that particular chip?
It's known for its power efficiency.
Okay.
It balances performance with battery life,
Mm-hmm.
which is crucial for a smartwatch like this.
Yeah.
It's not the most powerful chip on the market,
Right.
but it gets the job done without guzzling power.
Okay.
They've also packed in a 410 milliamp hour pure cobalt battery,
Wow.
which is pretty substantial for a smartwatch.
So they're not cutting corners on the battery front.
Nope.
But a powerful battery is only part of the equation.
Yeah.
What about the brains of the operation?
Right.
How much RAM and ROM does this thing have?
It's got 128 megabytes of RAM and 128 megabytes of ROM.
Okay.
Not top of the line by any means, but enough to handle the operating system and all those apps smoothly.
And what about sensors? We talked about heart rate and blood oxygen, but what else is in there?
They're using the VP60 for heart rate monitoring,
Okay.
which is a pretty standard and reliable sensor.
Mm-hmm.
For step counting and motion tracking, it's the STK 8325. Again, a solid choice. Seems like they've opted for reliable, proven technology rather than chasing the latest and greatest, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
All right. So it's tough. It's got a long battery life.
Right.
And it's packed with features.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest. Looks matter. Is this thing something you'd actually want to wear on your wrist?
Right.
Tell me about the design.
Well, they're going for a sleek and modern look
Okay.
with the 1.43-inch AMOLED screen.
Okay.
It's all about vibrant colors,
Uh-huh.
sharp visuals. The body of the watch is a combination of metal, ABS, and PC materials,
Okay.
giving it that durable yet stylish vibe.
Nice.
And they're including 2 straps, a stainless steel one for a more classic look,
Okay.
and a black one for a sportier feel.
Nice. Options are always good, so you can dress it up or down depending on the occasion.
Exactly. And if you're feeling adventurous, you
Yeah.
can swap those out for any 22mm strap that
Yeah.
you like. So there's plenty of room for personalization.
Yeah.
And don't worry about scratching that pretty screen.
Uh-huh.
It comes with the tempered glass screen protector right out of the box.
Nice. Now, I know a lot of smartwatches are limited in terms of language support.
Mm-hmm.
What about the KOSPET Tank T2?
Right.
Can I actually use it in, say, French, Arabic, or even Bengali?
Yes, to all of the above.
Yeah.
The watch interface and the KOSPET Fit app support a surprisingly wide range of languages.
Okay.
So whether you're traveling internationally or just prefer using another language, the Tank T2 has got you covered.
Okay. Color me impressed.
Yeah.
It seems like they've really thought of everything.
Yeah,
But before we get too carried away, let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture.
that's a great idea. All these features are impressive,
Hmm.
but what do they tell us about the future of wearable technology?
Right. Are we heading toward a world where our smartwatches become our primary devices,
Yeah.
replacing our smartphones altogether?
That's a good question, and one we'll definitely dive into.
We'll explore the potential, the possibilities,
Right.
and maybe even some of the concerns
Yeah.
that come with this ever-evolving world of wearable tech.
Exactly.
Stay tuned.
I'm excited. So we've established that the KOSPET Tank T2 is tough, it's feature-packed, and even stylish.
Right.
But is it
Mhm.
is it possible that we're becoming too reliant on these devices? Is this
Yeah.
the beginning of the end for our smartphones?
That's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
The Tank T2 with its Bluetooth calling, app notifications, and voice assistant is practically a mini smartphone on your wrist.
Right.
And it's not alone. We're seeing more and more smartwatches pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed I use my phone less when I'm wearing my smartwatch. It's just so convenient to glance at your wrist for notifications, control music, even track your fitness. Exactly. And that convenience is only going to increase.
Right.
Battery life is improving.
Mhm.
Processing power is getting stronger.
Yeah.
And who knows what kind of new features we'll see in the next few years.
Right.
It's not hard to imagine a future where our smartwatches handle most of our daily digital interactions.
But isn't that a little scary? I mean, some people are already glued to their phones. Wouldn't this just make us even more dependent on technology?
It's a valid concern
Yeah.
and one we need to be mindful of. But technology itself isn't inherently good or bad. It's all about how we choose to use it.
Right.
We have the power to set boundaries, to decide when to disconnect and engage with the real world.
I like that perspective. It's about finding a balance.
Exactly.
Using technology to enhance our lives without letting it take over. And maybe that's where the KOSPET Tank T2's
Right.
focus on customization comes in.
Yeah.
With all those different sport modes, interchangeable straps, and tons of features, you can really tailor it to fit your individual needs and preferences.
Absolutely. It's not about forcing everyone into the same mold of hyperconnectivity. It's about giving people options,
Right.
letting them choose how they want to integrate technology into their lives.
Speaking of options, one thing that always concerns me with these feature-packed devices
Yeah.
is usability. Is the KOSPET Tank T2 actually easy to use?
Yeah.
Or am I going to be stuck fumbling through menus trying to figure out how to access all those amazing features?
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
A smartwatch with a clunky interface
Yeah.
is going to end up gathering dust in a drawer no matter how cool the features are.
Right.
From what I've seen in early reviews, the Tank T2 seems to have a pretty intuitive interface,
Okay.
and the KOSPET Fit app is reportedly user-friendly as well.
So no need to be a tech whiz to navigate this thing.
Well, there's always a bit of a learning curve
Right.
with any new device. But it sounds like KOSPET has put effort into making the Tank T2 accessible to a wide range of users. And with that vibrant AMOLED screen,
Right.
navigating those menus should be a visually pleasing experience.
That's good to hear. Because ultimately, a smartwatch should make our lives easier, not more complicated.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the bigger question we were discussing earlier.
Okay.
If smartwatches are becoming so advanced, are they eventually going to replace our smartphones altogether?
I mean, just a few years ago, the idea of making calls from your watch seems like something out of a sci-fi movie. Now it's practically standard.
It really is amazing how quickly this technology is evolving.
Yeah.
And with advancements in areas like battery life, processing power, and even flexible displays,
Right.
it's not far-fetched to imagine a future where our smartwatches are our primary devices.
Think about it. You could leave your phone at home and still be connected. Make calls, track your fitness, even control your smart home, all from your wrist.
It's a compelling vision, but there are challenges to overcome.
Okay, like what?
Smartphones still have the advantage when it comes to things like screen size,
Right?
battery life for heavy use,
Yeah.
and the sheer power needed for demanding tasks like video editing or gaming.
So maybe it's not an either-or situation.
Right.
Maybe smartphones and smartwatches will coexist, each serving different purposes and complementing each other.
That's likely the scenario we'll see play out. Smartphones will continue to evolve, becoming even more powerful and versatile, while smartwatches will become increasingly sophisticated extensions of ourselves, seamlessly integrated into our lives.
It's an exciting time to be a tech enthusiast, but as with any new technology, there are potential downsides to consider.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of things like data privacy, security vulnerabilities, and the potential for these devices to be used for surveillance or even manipulation.
Like a double-edged sword. The same technology that can empower us
Right.
can also be used to exploit us.
That's why it's so important to be informed, to understand the risks as well as the benefits,
Right.
and to choose devices and companies that prioritize user privacy and security.
So to our listener out there, we're not just here to tell you about the KOSPET Tank T2. We want to empower you to make informed decisions about the technology you bring into your life.
We've explored the features, the potential, and even some of the concerns surrounding smartwatches. But ultimately, the decision of whether or not the Tank T2 is right for you is a personal one.
We've only scratched the surface of what this watch and smartwatches in general are capable of.
Yeah.
But hopefully we've given you some food for thought as you navigate this ever-evolving world of wearable tech.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive,
Right.
there's one more aspect of the KOSPET Tank T2 that we haven't discussed yet: style.
Oh, right.
Because, let's be honest,
Yeah.
no matter how advanced a smartwatch is, if it looks clunky or unattractive, you're not going to want to wear it.
That's a great point. We've talked about the durability and the features, but what about aesthetics? Does the KOSPET Tank T2 pass the style test?
Well, that's a bit subjective, of course.
Right.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder and all that.
Yeah.
But I think KOSPET has done a pretty good job of striking a balance between ruggedness and style.
Yeah, looking at the pictures, it definitely doesn't scream bulky smartwatch.
Yeah.
It's got a sleek, modern look.
Exactly. And that's thanks in part to that 1.43-inch AMOLED screen we talked about earlier.
Right.
It's not just bright and colorful, it also contributes to the overall sleekness of the design.
And remember, it comes with 2 different straps,
Right.
a stainless steel one and a black one. So you can dress it up or dress it down, depending on your mood and your outfit.
Plus, you can always swap those out for any 22mm strap you like. So there's plenty of room for personalization.
Yeah.
Want a bright, sporty silicone band for your workouts? No problem.
Right.
Prefer a classic leather strap for a more formal look? Go for it.
It's like having a different watch for every occasion. But let's be real. Style is more than just the strap. What about the body of the watch itself? What materials are we talking about?
They've used a combination of metal, ABS, and PC materials. The metal gives it that premium feel and adds to the durability, while the ABS and PC keep it lightweight and comfortable to wear.
It's like the Goldilocks of smartwatches. Not too heavy, not too flimsy, just right.
And that's important because you're going to be wearing this thing all day, every day.
Right.
You don't want it to weigh you down or feel uncomfortable.
So it sounds like the KOSPET Tank T2 checks all the boxes. Durability, features, style, and even user-friendliness. But there's one more question that's been on my mind.
Oh, and what's that?
With all this talk about the future of smartwatches,
Right.
it's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
But what about the present? Is the KOSPET Tank T2 actually worth buying right now?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Right.
It depends on your individual needs and preferences, your budget, and even what other smartwatches are available on the market.
So what are some things our listeners should consider when making their decision?
Well, first and foremost, they need to decide what features are most important to them.
Okay.
Do they prioritize fitness tracking, Bluetooth calling, long battery life? Once they have a clear idea of their needs, they can start comparing the Tank T2 to other smartwatches in its price range.
It's all about finding the best fit right, the smartwatch that ticks all the right boxes for you.
Exactly. And don't forget to read reviews from other users.
Right.
They can provide valuable insights into the real-world performance and usability of the watch.
That's a great tip. User reviews can be so helpful in getting a sense of whether a product lives up to its promises.
Absolutely. And if possible, try to get some hands-on experience with the watch before you buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Visit a store that carries it or see if a friend or family member has one you can try out.
Nothing beats trying before you buy.
Exactly. So to our listener, we've given you a lot to think about.
Yeah.
We've explored the KOSPET Tank T2 in depth, from its rugged durability to its sleek style and everything in between.
We have.
We've talked about the future of smartwatches and the potential they hold, but ultimately, the decision is yours.
Do your research, compare your options, and choose the smartwatch that best aligns with your needs and your lifestyle.
And most importantly, don't be afraid to embrace the exciting possibilities of wearable technology.
We've reached the end of our deep dive, but the conversation about smartwatches and the future of technology continues.
Join us next time as we explore another fascinating topic in the world of tech.
Until then, stay curious. Okay, so we've spent some time talking about what the KOSPET Tank T2 can do right now.
Right.
But what about the future? What's next for smartwatches in general?
That's where things get really interesting. We're already seeing smartwatches move beyond just basic fitness tracking and notifications. They're becoming more integrated with other devices and systems, almost like a central hub for our digital lives.
So instead of just interacting with our phones, our watches will be talking to our homes, our cars, even our healthcare providers.
Exactly. Imagine a world where your smartwatch can adjust your home's temperature before you even walk in the door or alert your doctor if it detects an irregular heartbeat.
That sounds both amazing and a little bit unnerving.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of future we want where our every move is being tracked and analyzed?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
As technology advances, we have to be mindful of the ethical implications.
Right.
But the potential benefits are huge.
Like that.
Imagine early detection of health issues, personalized fitness plans, even a world where our smartwatches help us manage stress and improve our mental well-being.
So it's not just about convenience anymore.
Right.
It's about using technology to enhance our lives on a much deeper level.
Exactly. And the KOSPET Tank T2, with its advanced sensors and connectivity, is a step in that direction.
Yeah.
It's a glimpse of what's possible.
But it's just one piece of the puzzle, right? There are so many other companies and researchers working on incredible things in the wearable tech space.
Absolutely. We're seeing advancements in areas like flexible displays, energy harvesting, even biointegrated sensors that can track our health at a molecular level.
Wow.
The future of smartwatches is bright, and it's only going to get more exciting.
So what's your prediction? What's the next big breakthrough in smartwatch technology?
That's tough to say.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see a shift from reactive to proactive technology.
Right.
Instead of just responding to our commands, our smartwatches will anticipate our needs, offer personalized suggestions, and help us make smarter decisions throughout the day.
So it's like having a personal assistant on your wrist guiding you through life.
Exactly. And as artificial intelligence continues to develop, that personal assistant will become even more intuitive and insightful.
Well, after this deep dive, I'm both excited and a little bit overwhelmed by the possibilities.
Yeah.
It's clear that smartwatches are more than just a fad. They're a glimpse into the future of how we'll interact with technology.
And the KOSPET Tank T2, while not perfect, is a solid example of what's currently available. It's tough, feature-packed, and surprisingly stylish.
I agree.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the nitty-gritty specs to the philosophical implications of wearable technology.
Well, I have.
But ultimately, the decision of whether or not to buy the KOSPET Tank T2 is up to you, our listener.
We've given you the information, the insights, and hopefully a sense of excitement about the future of smartwatches.
Now it's your turn to do your research, consider your needs, and choose the smartwatch that's right for you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the KOSPET Tank T2 and the world of wearable technology.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the tech that's shaping our lives.
Until then, stay curious.